Ahoy hoy fellow bookworms, my name is Caroline and I like to read books, so let's talk about them. It feels like ages since I did a tag video, even though in reality it's only been like 2 weeks or something, but I feel like doing one today, so I'm going to, and today's video is going to be the totally didn't book tag. This tag sounds really fun and it's only 10 questions, so let's just get straight into it. Question number 1 is totally didn't need a sequel, and for this one I'm going to say Divergent by Veronica Roth. I will say that I liked this book. I think the concept was really clever, the characters were reasonably likable, and the action scenes were well written, but the series just went downhill after this book. Insurgent wasn't that bad, but it wasn't very good either, and then there was Allegiant, which basically I just wish didn't exist. I hated the entire plot of that book, and especially the ending, because it just made me so mad. I just think this book could have been a really great standalone dystopian book if it had been kind of fine-tuned and given a little more attention. It would have been really great, and I can't really think of that many standalone dystopian books, so the fact that this was given sequels kind of just ruins it for me. Question number 2 is totally didn't need more than one point of view, and for this one I'm gonna go with The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness, or really the entire Chaos Walking trilogy. I actually didn't mind that there was more than one point of view in this series. What really frustrated me though was how frequently it switched between these two characters. Like, I wouldn't have minded if it was a 30-page chapter and then a 30-page chapter of the other character's perspective. Like, that is really normal, but in this book it was seriously every page at times. It was changing, and a lot of the time as well it was showing the same series of events just from a different point of view, and it's like, that's so unnecessary and frustrating to read, and it's honestly one of the reasons why I ended up not liking this series. Question number 3 is totally didn't need a cover art change in the middle of the series. Every book. Like, when is it okay to change the cover art in the middle of a series? It's never okay. Question number 4 is totally didn't need a love triangle, and there are probably a lot I could say for this one, but I'm gonna go with The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson. I thought this book was going to be about our main character grieving and eventually moving on after the death of her sister, but instead it was about her trying to choose between two guys, and I just really did not like it. I don't mind that she fell in love, but I didn't like that it was with two guys, because that became the entire story instead of her grieving, and I didn't like this book, but the love triangle in it is definitely one of the main reasons why I ended up giving it only 2 stars. Question number 5 is totally didn't need this book to be included in the series. Question number 6 is totally didn't need a cliffhanger ending, and the truth is that I cannot think of a book I have read with a cliffhanger ending, and if I have read one I probably can't remember it because I've just completely like erased it from my memory, because I don't really think cliffhangers are ever okay. So yeah, I don't really have an answer for this question, guys. I'm sorry. Question number 7 is totally didn't need to have just one point of view, and for this one I'm gonna go with Winger by Andrew Smith. This may be a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but the reason I think this book should have had more than one perspective is because I did not like the main character in this book. He just came off a bit misogynistic and a little bit douchey to me, and I really didn't like him. But I liked a lot of the supporting characters in the story, so I kind of wish that some of them had gotten a perspective chapter or 2, and the main character had gotten a little less. Question number 8 is totally didn't need that much hype, and for this one I'm gonna go with Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. Because yeah, this book was okay, but from the amount of 5-star reviews and just general hype surrounding it, I was expecting this book to be like freaking amazing, and instead it was just kind of meh. Like, it was good, but I ended up just kind of disappointed by it. Question 9 is totally didn't need a relative book reference, and that's like on the cover of a book when it'll say fans of the Hunger Games will love Divergent or something like that. For this one I'm gonna go with Fallen Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes, which I've mentioned in a few other videos that I didn't really like, but this was kind of marketed as Game of Thrones for the young adult audience, and I really have a problem with that, because in some respects this book is exactly like Game of Thrones. It has some very similar characters and stuff like that, but also it's missing all the sex and violence and complete all-out war that makes Game of Thrones what it is, so I just don't think it needed that relative book reference. Final question is completely savage, and it's totally didn't deserve my time, and I feel really mean saying this, but 10,000 Skies Above You by Claudia Gray, I just kind of wish I never read it. This is the second book in the Firebird trilogy and I just did not like it. I quite liked the first book in the series. I thought it was really clever, had all these alternate dimensions and was really interesting. But then this book kind of took everything that I disliked about book 1 and made a slightly longer book all about that stuff. And I just found it really frustrating, and because of this book I have no desire to read book 3 in the series whenever it comes out. And I'm trying not to sound too harsh about it, but I just really disliked this book. That is the end of this tag video though. I'm going to tag a bunch of people down in the description box because I can't really be bothered mentioning like 10 people right now. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked this one. I upload videos Wednesdays and Saturdays, so be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel and tune in on those days for more bookish goodness. Toodaloo.